Good evening, everybody. Uh, Actually, I want to pull up the. Forgot to pull this up before the stream. Um, the air alert in Kiev ended just a little while ago, 16 minutes ago. The air alert was going on for 5 hours and 5 minutes. Give you kind of the idea. So, midnight to 5 in the morning. Russians trying to keep people awake all night. Just wanted to point that out. Um, Normally I go straight into the news, but I want to kind of show you guys a little video. Pause. Full screen. This is, let me get to, there we go. This is how Ukraine is asking for more air defense. They're not asking for air defense to keep their units from being bombed, their soldiers protected. They're asking air defense to keep their civilians from being bombed by Russia. So when you talk to your representatives, ask them why they're not getting air defense to defend their cities, to defend their power plants, to defend their water treatment plants so they can have clean drinking water. That's the thing that kills me with this war is it's not a war of army versus army. It's army versus civilian population. And Ukraine's trying to protect their civilians. And the world just ignores it. Well, I shouldn't say the world ignores it, but our politicians seem to ignore it. Go into the news from yesterday. Operational information as of 10 p.m. October 19th regarding the Russian invasion. Panzer howitzer. Ukrainian defenders continue to resolutely repulse the enemy's attempts to advance deep into our territory, inflicting effective fire damage on the Russians, exhausting it along the entire front line. In total, 138 combat clashes took place since the beginning of the day. Significant decrease from the last couple of days where it was in the 190s, almost 200 clashes the last 2 days. Russian aggressors launched 2 missiles. Well, updated to 3 missiles. 2 missile attacks using 3 missiles. 57 airstrikes with using 97 glide bombs. Russians used 607 kamikaze drones and fired more than 3,000 artillery shots at positions of troops in populated areas. In the Kharkiv direction, the enemy attacked the defensive lines of our soldiers near Staritsa and Voschansk 6 times. According to the available information, the losses of the enemy in this direction amounted to 74 servicemen, 2 units of mortar. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be mortar or motor vehicles, and 25 unmanned aerial vehicles were destroyed. Our soldiers also damaged 2 cars of the occupiers. Let me translate that back. Yeah, that's not a really clear translation, unfortunately. Again, the area they're talking about, Staritsa and Voschansk. So you don't hear a whole lot about this side, but they're really pushing on this side, and that's, I think their goal here is to get to this reservoir. Because if they can get to that reservoir, they have a defense line that they can hold. But I digress. In the Kupiansk direction, the enemy carried out 16 assaults in the area of Kodachiv, Koloniska, Kurglalivka, Lvova. Ukrainian defenders repelled all enemy attacks. The invaders also carried out an airstrike on Kupiansk. And in general, they're talking about this area here. Kupiansk here, they're starting to push towards the reservoir, the Oskil River and reservoir. This is pretty marshy, boggy area, and my dogs decided to come visit me and play, so sorry about the background noise. You know, give her all these toys and all this other stuff, and she pulls the stupid water bottles out of the trash because they make more noise. It's like a kid. In the Lamansky direction, during the day, Russian invaders attacked Ukrainian positions near Novomykolaivka, Gravivka, Turniv, and Sibryanka 10 times. The defense forces repulsed the Russians fiercely, but one skirmish is still ongoing. Novoyorivka and Turny were attacked by enemy aircraft, so glide bombs. See if I could. Turny and Novomykolaivka. So, yeah, those were the 2 areas hit by the bombs. And 16 attacks in this area. Or no, I had that backwards. It was 10 attacks in that area. I'm sorry. The enemy did not conduct active operations in the Servisk direction, but Servisk and Rivninka were attacked with guided air bombs and shelled the positions of the troops. So, Servisk, they're talking about this area. Again, this is the area that the K2 Brigade operates out of. And, you know, check out their YouTube channel if you want to see, like, videos of the actions in that area. They also have a Telegram channel if you are more of the uncensored version type. Warning, those do get very graphic. In the Kramatorsk direction, our defenders stopped 3 offensive actions of the Russians near Andriivka, Petrekny, and Stupochny. The situation is under control. In Kramatorsk, Sloviansk is a major goal for Russia. Besides like smaller towns, like Bakhmut was around 30,000 people pre-war, Russia has not really been able to take a major city since the initial invasion. And, they lost Kherson, Izium, Kupiansk. They were at the doorstep of Kharkiv, and they've been pushed back. Just remember that. They've been pushed back by an army that barely existed before the invasion. The Moscow, how many ships have the Ukrainians sunk, and they don't officially have a navy. They've been using naval drones and rubber boats to conduct attacks in the Black Sea. And the ingenuity and tenacity of the Ukrainian army is amazing. In the direction of Toretsk, Russians attacked the defense forces 4 times near Toretsk, Serbivnica, and in the direction of Alexander Sholtuna. Okay. 2 skirmishes are ongoing. The invading army actively used aviation during the day. Strikes were carried out in the regions of Toretsk and Katerinivka. In Toretsk, is this area here, and there is some heavy fighting going on in this little section. Oh, no. So Russia tried pushing in from the north into this little area here, but have changed their tactics and are trying to push in from the south, fighting along the road. But Ukraine has a dominating position right now with these tailing piles, and one here too. So they have a very good vantage point over the battlefield. In the Pokrovsk direction, Russians have tried 24 times to break through our defenses near the settlements of Mirolubivka, Myrolyubivka. That was a hard one. Promny and Saladov. 7 attacks are still ongoing. Okay, you want to say hi to everybody? Come here. There, you're part of the stream now. Now bark. No? Okay. Where was I? Pokrovsk direction. Since the beginning of the day, they've tried to attack 24 times in Pokrovsk. Mirolubivka, Promny, and Saladov. 7 attacks are ongoing. The enemy is suffering significant losses. Today, 214 occupiers were neutralized in this direction, 97 of them irreversibly. A car, 4 motorcycles, and an enemy anti-tank missile complex were also destroyed. I'll have to look that up and see what kind of equipment that was. But obviously, we've all heard about Pokrovsk, and definitely some hard battles going on. Mirolupika's right here, Seladov. So again, the same villages being attacked repeatedly every day. Sonia, you're silly. You're silly. You wanted attention, now you want to hide. You silly. Tell me, what's worse, dogs or cats for attention wanting? So that was 24 attacks. Again, down from, I think it was like 46 yesterday. Or not yesterday, but the day before. To 24 today. The hottest front today is in the Kharkiv direction. The enemy, supported by aviation, attacked our positions 50 times. Zorani, Novodimrivka, Zeleny Drugo, Hrinka, Georgievka, I'm not sure how to pronounce that part of it. Antonivka, Katarinivka, and according to information, 17 clashes are still taking place. And Kharkiv is this little pocket right here. Kharkiv, Novoseladivka, I think they count it down into this area as well. Yeah, Antonivka, Katarinivka. So 50 attacks be Friday night. Just amazing number of attacks in this little area. In the Verminsk direction, the invaders carried out 4 offensive actions near Novoyukrainika and Bogoyavlinka. All attacks were repelled. Yeah, let's cover that one instead of grouping them together. So, Marinka and this area here, this other town here. So 4 attacks in this direction on Friday. In the Orhiv direction, the enemy tried to advance near Malaya Tokmak. Help me, Sonia. Malaya Tokmakchia. Ukrainian defenders repelled 2 enemy assaults. The occupier launched an airstrike on Zaporizhia. Civilian residents of the regional center were injured. So again, attacking civilians. In the Dnieper direction, the Russians were defeated 6 times, attacking the defensive lines of the Ukrainians. Orhiv is here. Tokmakia. Oh, what was the other one? I already lost the name in my head. Oh, it's just that one. So 4 attacks, or 2, trying to push into this area. And Ukraine's holding strong in this area. In the Dnipro area, again, they're talking about this entire length of the river. And my guess is more than likely the attacks were in this area. Today, it's worth noting the soldiers of the 35th Separate Brigade of Marines, named after Rear Admiral Mikhailo Ostogradsky, who are effectively destroying the enemy, inflicting significant losses in manpower and equipment. Join the ranks of the armed forces. We will win. You know, little different ending for today's report. So I'll use a different ending or a different reply, I should say, for this section and say, Razum de Perimojimo. Together to victory. In the news today, something about Wayland says he fed Western officials information. Okay. Ukraine hit a major defense plant in the Russian heartland. That's worth looking at. And paywall. Gotta love the paywall. So let's try Al Jazeera. No paywall yet. Ukraine has struck a manufacturer of military explosives deep inside Russian territory overnight, as well as storage infrastructure at a military airfield in the Lipetsk region, according to Kyiv's general staff. For their part, Russian air defense units say they've downed 110 Ukrainian drones. Russia's Ministry of Defense said Sunday, including one over Moscow. 43 in the border region of Kursk and 27 over southwestern Lipetsk region. I'm not really sure where that is, but filler for the story. I'm not going to read it. You want to read it? You know where to go. Oh, this is I'll play it. It's news reporting, so this is North Korean troops being kitted out in Russia.
I also want to talk about Russia's war in Ukraine because we have some Ukrainian equipment, even video of North Korean.
So I think they're getting better equipped than the Russians are. I'm just wondering which of those boxes has the tampons for wounds. Okay. So they're saying there's only 1,500 North Koreans sent to Russia so far. I believe that number is much higher because they sent artillery divisions as well. But there's been no released information on that yet. Yeah, I'm not going to show that video. And then we're back with Biden and news I've already covered. Let's go back to the air raid map in Zaporizhia. Just got their air alert for 18 minutes ago. Telegram. Let's go to Zelensky official. Oh, and it's having me download it. Shoot, I should have done that sooner. So have you had enough attention while we're downloading the video? Or do you want to go run? Go on. No, you want to stay? Okay.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці,
Hold on. Let me get this full screen.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці, українки. Коротко про цей день. Перше, я хочу відзначити усіх наших захисників неба, які щоночі збивають шахеди. Цей рік майже кожна ніч, іноді і ранок, і день загроза шахедів. Ударних дронів, які Росії дав Іран, і які стали одним з основних знарядь російського терору проти України. І які, на жаль, росіяни та іранці удосконалюють. Ми завжди говорили партнерам, що треба бути більш рішучими в протидії таким злочинним альянсам. Тільки на цьому тижні, від понеділка по сьогодні, кожна доба шахеди. За одну добу, 18 жовтня, було 129 таких дронів. А загалом від початку цього року Росія застосувала вже більш ніж 6130 шахедів. Значну частину наші воїни збивають. Багато допомагає РЕП, але не у всьому. І саме тому потрібно більше тиску на російську вже здатність виробляти таку зброю. Потрібна можливість знищувати і бази зберігання шахедів, і всю наявну інфраструктуру їх виробництва та логістики. Терористи, на жаль, вміють використовувати час, який дає їм нерішучість вільного світу. Так само і зараз. Нова загроза – злочинний союз Росії та Північної Кореї. Я вдячний тим лідерам та представникам держав, які не заплющують очі і говорять відверто про цю співпрацю заради більшої війни, про постачання зброї з Північної Кореї в Росію, про те, чим росіяни можуть відплатити Пхеньяну за цю допомогу. На жаль, нестабільності та загроз може стати значно більше після того, як Північна Корея буде вчитись сучасній війні. Зараз ми маємо чіткі дані про те, що в Росію постачають і людей з Північної Кореї. І це вже не просто робітники для виробництв, але й військові. І ми чекаємо нормальну, чесну, сильну реакцію партнерів на це. Фактично, це вступ ще однієї держави у війну проти України. У всіх є можливість побачити докази і завдяки супутникам, і завдяки відео, яке вже приходить з Росії. Треба займатися цим, реагувати, протидіяти. І не можна давати злу вирости, якщо світ мовчатиме зараз, і якщо нам доведеться стикатися із солдатами з Північної Кореї на фронті так само постійно, як захищатись від шахедів, то це точно нікому у світі не піде на користь і лише подовжить цю війну. Війну, яка має бути завершена справедливо і якнайшвидше. Ще одне. За цей тиждень у нас є підтримка від партнерів за планом перемоги. Дякую Франції, Литві, нашим партнерам, нашим нордикам та багатьом іншим нашим союзникам в Євросоюзі. Є дуже хороші сигнали від Сполучених Штатів. Ми чуємо вже риторику, її зміни. Ми очікуємо на приїзд команди з Вашингтону, щоб на всіх робочих рівнях працювати по пунктах плану перемоги. Домовились щодо кількох нових пакетів підтримки, і оборонної підтримки, і енергетичної підтримки. І це дається нам, дається дуже непросто. Але по-іншому ворога не перемогти. Я дякую всім, хто нам допомагає. І нам треба працювати тільки разом і тільки у єдності, щоб для нас всіх був результат, для всієї України. Але поки це відбувається, на жаль, в тилу тут в Україні стаються речі, з якими жодних ворогів не треба. Це реально внутрішній ворог. Те, що відбувається з МСЕК, медичними, соціальними, експертними комісіями та нахабством людей, зокрема прокурорів, які скористались своїми зв'язками з МСЕК та пооформляли собі фальшиві інвалідності. Я чекаю від правоохоронців, зокрема, передусім СБУ, ДБР, Офісу Генпрокурора, відповідних швидких, жорстких рішень. Призначив РНБО. Слава Україні!
Героям слава. I did not catch the number of shaheeds he was talking about. Let me see if it's in the... No, it's not. So if someone caught that, could you put the number in chat for me? I'd appreciate it. Yeah, every time Putin says, "Oh, if you cross this line," I can't help but think of that, Bugs Bunny cartoon with Yosemite Sam, where he draws the line in the sand, drops the line in the sand, keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. And if we're not careful, we're going to end up like Yosemite Sam and walking off the cliff. I don't know what else to say to that. It's literally cartoonish. The red line, the don't cross this line, don't cross that line. I mean, we've heard it every month since the beginning of the war. You cross this line, I'll use nukes. You cross this line, I'll use nukes. I'm sorry, I know you're in here, Putin, but I don't believe you anymore. Not that I ever did, but it is what it is. That's all I had prepared for today. So if you guys have any questions or anything you want me to look into for you, I'll be happy to look it up. Just let me know. No, there's children. Well, they behave like spoiled children. I'll put it that way. I've known 2-year-olds that acted better than Russia. So, yeah, Syria was where it all began, but my biggest blame to date is on Trump for stopping military supplies to Ukraine in 2016, 17, or no, 2017, 18, and 19. Trying to dig up dirt on Hunter Biden and withholding the military aid that we were supposed to send Ukraine back then to get that dirt from Ukraine that never existed. Oh, no, I did not do the operational losses, so let me pull that up. I need to get better at this. And so Russian losses for today, 20th, another 1,340 troops. So if it's true that North Korea only sent 1,500 people, that's covering a single day's worth of losses. Yeah, MH17, yeah. 12 more tanks, getting it close to 9,050 tanks destroyed of Russia so far this war. You average it out, and that's 3,000 tanks a year. and Russia's producing like 2 a month or something like that. Another 39 APVs today, armored personnel carriers. 17 more artillery systems. 57 aerial drones. 1 cruise missile. 41 vehicles and 3 special equipment. Oh, that's what I wanted to look up is untranslate. And so I think it's this that they're talking about. So I think they took out one of these today, which is cool, but I can't. There's the name of it. Let's see if I can get a better. Yeah, that's definitely what they're talking about. See what Wikipedia has to say about it. Designed in 1990, so rather new equipment for Russia. A crew of 3. Trying to see cost on this thing. Uh, yeah, I don't see a cost. So let's go. Let's specifically ask Google price. About 15 million, 13 to 14.6. So big loss for Russia there. Makes me happy. Unfortunately, I don't think they will soon. I'll show you something here. Not what I meant. Again, not exactly what I meant. Oh, here we go. From old Soviet times, there are fields and fields and of these everywhere. Ukraine even had a couple of these. Let's see if I can get a better search. So I think I wanted to say junk. Yeah. So there's one storage area, and they have hundreds, if not, well, literally hundreds of these all throughout Russia. Um, some with tanks, trucks. Now there's one for tanks. The problem is, well, I shouldn't say the problem. The good thing is that people have been going into these junkyards and scrapping out the high value pieces out of these. So Russia is literally using their factory production to take these old pieces of equipment and rebuild them, because it's faster and cheaper for them to just replace parts for these old pieces of crap than it is to build new ones. So you're talking 50, 60 years of Soviet military production that Ukraine's trying to push through. And let's see. Russian equipment. So, I should have known Washington Post. There we go. From the Kiev Independent. So I know it's not. Give you an idea. This is what Russia put in Izium for their attacks before Ukraine took it over. Let's see, when was the date of this article? September of 2022. Here. So Ukraine has captured, again, this is September of 2022, 392 Russian tanks, 179 armored fighting vehicles, 421 infantry fighting vehicles, 400 trucks, other vehicles, jeeps, and that's just according to open source, the Oryx project. And that's, that's what, here in March, April, May, June. That's 7 months. Here we are almost 3 years into the war. And extrapolate that out, and you're talking probably 1,000 tanks, close to 500 armored fighting vehicles, and that's a small percentage of what Russia has available. Yeah, it is a bit rough that, our politicians are expecting Ukraine to take out all the built up equipment from the Soviet Union, but I mean, they've been doing it against all odds. Yeah, and that's why the countries bypassing the sanctions are such a big deal. Um, that's why Russia's buying washing machines by the tens of thousands every month from China, because they can take the chips out of the washing machines and use them in their tanks and aircraft. I wouldn't say BRICS is the end of the US control. I think it's our isolationism over the last 20 some odd years that has allowed BRICS to exist. Hey, Nikki. Oh, Rick just ended. Oh, geez. I don't know how that guy does these 10-hour streams. I could not do 10 hours. See, that's the funny part, Vlad. You're talking about needing rubles if you want coal. China will not even deal with Russia in rubles. They are making Russia use the yuan. So, and like, it was so hilarious when that deal first went through, that like Russia sold China a bunch of oil and was paid in yuan for it, but China didn't want the yuan back. So for like 2 months there was no dealings because they couldn't figure out how to trade without trading in yuan, because it was just funny. So China almost screwed Russia over just because China. What do you mean by EUV, Underhill? Well, I'm talking. Let's leave the air raid map up. Oh, I'm too small of a YouTuber to get trolls. You have to think of it this way. China's economy depends on American consumption. If China crosses the line to the point where US has to say, okay, well, since you're supporting Russia, China, you're cut off. There's nothing that will save China's economy. It will crash overnight if America does that. So China is playing a very close game, tightrope. Okay, yeah, China does have the those ultraviolet lithography machines, but they don't know how to use them. They hired foreign workers to run those machines. And about a year ago, Biden said, if you're an American citizen working in China making chips, you can either choose to keep your job or keep your citizenship in the US. Well, guess what everybody did? They quit. China is having to relearn how to make chips right now. And it's not an easy task, especially with the lack of neon right now. There's a neon, no, it's not neon. What is it? I can't remember the gas they use. there's a gas that is needed for the lasers to etch the chips, and it's used in the focusing of the laser to etch the chips. And there's a shortage of it right now because 90% of the world's supply came from Ukraine. And Russia blew up the plants that make that gas. Is it neon? I can't remember. It's been so long ago since I read that. Yeah, okay, it is neon. Um, Little backstory of how neon is collected. Um, when you smelt steel, you need an intake fan, and nitrogen is separated out from the rest of the gases, and the nitrogen is pumped into the furnaces to get to temperature, and the other gases can be split off to be further separated later. Mariupol and several iron foundries in Russia were separating this gas out, but it was all sent to Odessa to be further refined to separate out individual gases. Ukraine, through Odessa, produced 70% of the world's neon supply. China produces the other 30%, but of that, laser grade neon, that Ukraine had a 90% share of the higher quality laser grade neon that was needed. So chip manufacturers are using up stockpiles now, and I'm still waiting for the day they go, we need more neon. And it's not just something you can flick a switch and start doing. The infrastructure is just not there. Exactly. There's no replacement for them. You have to just go and mine them. But you still need the neon to focus them, Underhill. And so far, China's the only one producing the neon, and they're trying to do chip manufacturing. Do you think they're going to sell any neon to anyone else? To Taiwan, to South Korea, to Malaysia? That, anybody else doing chip manufacturing? No, they're going to keep all they have for themselves. So the U.S. is trying to play catch up with, was it Brazil? There's an iron foundry in Brazil they're trying to equip to make neon. And that was a year and a half ago, and I think the expected completion date is 2032. Yeah, China's not going to sell the neon. So China's going to be making those nice little chips that go into, your phone that sings to you when there's a call. The high-tech computer chips that, come out of Japan, those are going to be the ones that hurt. You're going to see you're going to see the effect in the computer market first, especially in graphics cards because of Bitcoin and all that other stuff that's literally dependent on video cards. Okay, you want to say that U.S. is imperialistic? That's kind of funny. Um, in the last 100 years, name one territory that the U.S. has taken ownership of. The real issue with the U.S. is we patrolled the ocean for the last 80 years. Every tech industry is in flames everywhere except China for the low end crystals or for the low end chips. China does not make the mid grade chips, and China does not make the high end chips for computers. So AI is done. Unless we can get neon being produced somewhere else, electric vehicles are done, computers are done, phones are done. You can't because the information's not there. The U.S. is not taking over any territory since Hawaii. No, we haven't gone EV. Um, you know, they've given tax credits for people buying EV to help the industry start up, but that's done. There's no way. We do not produce enough resources worldwide, even if everybody was cooperating, to produce a tenth of the vehicles that we would need for EV to go full EV in the US. That is literally the definition of imperialism. No, we went out and we bought. Um, why do you think United Arab Emirates people are so rich? We didn't go in there and take over the country to take the oil. No, we bought it from them. I mean, I'm not saying America's innocent because we're far from innocent, but we're not. It's not an imperialistic ideal. Um, we're not going out and conquering other countries to claim their resources for ourselves. We're going to other countries and buying their resources from them. We're not in Afghanistan anymore. We're not in Iraq anymore. We're not in Iran. Vietnam has been its own country for years. Okay. A policy of extending a country's power influence through diplomacy or military force. Okay, so we went down the diplomacy path instead of the military force. Russia's doing the military force. Bye bye. Sorry, but you sit there and want to have an argument and where you only use one thing that, oh, you don't know nothing? He went away for 24 hours. He can come back tomorrow and have a real argument. But literally, the definition of imperialism from Oxford Languages is extending a country's power and influence. Okay, yeah, I can agree that we expanded our power and influence, but we did it through diplomacy, not military force. Um, we're not ruled by an emperor. Trump wants to rule by an emperor, but no, he needs a better argument. Saying you don't know anything and I'm not going to educate you, that means you don't know shit and need a better argument. I mean, I'll debate you all day as long as you're using a logical argument. If you start spewing stuff like you don't know anything and I can't educate you, then you don't have an argument. Thank you, Blue. Anyway, I mean, I was really hoping he'd had a good argument. I mean, I don't claim to know everything. If there was a place where we went in and militarily took it over and and didn't help them build up a new government, I'd be all for it. But Vietnam has been an independent country since the 70s. We never invaded Iran. Okay, we invaded Iraq because Iraq invaded Kuwait and we helped out Kuwait. But we didn't take over the country. We kind of went, okay, we got rid of the jerkwad, helped them form their own government. It fell apart, but we don't have any control over Iraq anymore. Afghanistan, we just pulled out of there and it fell apart in 24 hours. There, you know, yes, America expands its influence by buying up produce, raw resources, stuff like that. But we don't say at gunpoint, give us your stuff. Russia's going in at gunpoint saying, give us your stuff. And to me, that's not imperialism. That's a free market. Just because we have the biggest economy and we're not even the biggest country in the world, we're what, third? And I'm getting the I want attention look. Okay, let me. Where is it? Where is it? So, full cam. Come here, you. You want to say hi? No, you want to run under the bed. God, you destroyed my room. Come here. She paws at my leg, and then when I go to pick her up, she runs away. Sit. Sonia, sit. Okay. Say hi to everybody. You don't want to say hi to everybody? Say hi to everybody. Say good night to everybody. And yeah, I'm going to end the stream here, guys. Someone demanding attention. So, OBS. Scene. Replay. Good night, everybody. Stay safe.